Here I discuss 4 common misconceptions about academic writing that make it particularly challenging and less rewarding. A common misconception is that in academic writing, you have a specific idea that you would like to communicate to the other person. So we see academic writing as a way of expressing your thoughts to an audience that is meant to evaluate those ideas. And while it could be what you see in the end process in terms of academic writing, what it actually is thinking. Academic writing is thinking. It's the process through which you sort through the tangled mess in your mind, leading to you being able to sort out those thoughts through paper, through multiple revisions, leading to a clear message that is then conveyed to your audience. So whereas in the end, you do communicate an intellectual idea, the whole point of writing and the whole process underlying it is that you have to sort through the tangled mess in your head, go through very complex and complicated ideas in order to be able to present them in a simplified way to an audience that will be receptive of it. A second misconception is that we have to captivate the attention of our audience in the same way that we do in entertainment. But academic writing is not the production of another mystery novel. So academic readers do not like mystery, they do not like suspense, they do not like to have to wait until the end to get the punchline. Academic writing is a way of presenting ideas in a transparent way. You get to the point early and you convince your readers to stay on by showing them that you have an important message and that what that message entails, and then you can go through the detailed process of how you arrived at your conclusions. So academic writing is not a mystery novel. If anything, it's a very transparent piece of writing that has ideas that are captivating to the mind and that keep the reader interested until the end. A third common misconception about academic writing is that it is selling an idea. It happens a lot that people take a specific position at the start of a manuscript and they spend the rest of the time trying to support that position and concluding that that position is valid. But what this does is that it only creates doubt in the mind of the reader because it does come across as biased. It also lacks the critical thinking that we would expect in an academic piece of writing. And so you come across as the marketing guy who is selling the perfect product. What academic writing is actually a very serious involved process whereby you evaluate multiple arguments related to a particular problem. You look at it from multiple perspectives and evaluate those different perspectives, leading to a balanced view on what could be happening. So good academic writing is behaving like a judge who evaluates opposing sides who all have an interest to win, and at the end of the day comes out with a conclusion that is more likely to be valid and less entrenched in the interests of either party. The fourth one is probably more for people like us who are non-native speakers. Most of the time, we think that academic writing is a language exam. So we spend a lot of time trying to use the right words, trying to polish them to make them attractive. But no one really cares about the language and how shiny it is if the ideas lack substance. So in academic writing, the interest is in the thought processes that are involved, the arguments that underlie the conclusion that comes about. And so even if the language is imperfect, people are willing to overlook that. In fact, most times they will not notice it. But if you fall into the trap of trying to use language as a tool to make your work come across as nice, then most times you actually also lose your voice in the process. And then the work comes across as superficial, uninvolved, and most times now in the world of AI, that's how we know when you have used AI, because it has all the markings of the work that is not so involved, that lacks the authentic voice, that lacks the involved processes that lead to a decent piece of work. So the next time you have to write an academic piece, just remember these important things. Academic writing is not you conveying an intellectual message. It's you thinking about a complicated problem. Academic writing is not a mystery novel. It's a transparent disclosure of the problem that you're dealing with and how you go about solving it. Academic writing is not a sales pitch. So you're not a marketing guy, but you are a judge who is taking making very serious considerations about sometimes conflicting worldviews. Finally, academic writing is not a language exam. It is the clarity of thought that is important, and it's valued over the fluency of language.